And welcome back to SWBA Today. And in today's show, we're looking at the SWBA scoreboard. We're going to be recapping the action that took place yesterday and talking about the major storylines out of those games. So let's go ahead and jump into the SWBA scoreboard. So we had 6 games in total that took place here. And so let's go ahead and start off with the Washington Wizards and the Philadelphia 76ers. The Wizards win 119-114. And look, I think that these are two teams that really their focus at this point is probably going to be on the SWBA draft and just trying to find that next prospect here that hopefully can get both of these teams moving in the right direction. And so in this particular game, I think that this was another great showing, I think, from Alex Sarr. He was the number 2 pick here in last season's draft. And, you know, I think he's really finding his way here, especially at the center position. He had 24 points in this one, 7 rebounds. He had 2 assists. He had 2 blocks as well. And I think that you're starting to see a player that, look, he just needs to get some more playing time. And I know it's been tough for the Washington Wizards right now. They're 16-56, but I think the experience that these guys are getting is certainly going to help them. You also had Bub Carrington. He had 9 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds as well. And so I know it wasn't like a huge, as far as like statistic kind of game, but you're seeing his ability to really stuff the stat sheet. And I think that that's something he's going to get better at. And so with the 76ers, look, it is all about them, and just they have got to figure out what is going on with Paul George. They got to figure out what's going on with Embiid. That's something that they'll have to figure out over the offseason. And they know what they have with Tyrese Maxey. But this team is clearly going to have to, I think, draft well. They are certainly going to need to start to focus their efforts there. And so it's been a tough year for the 76ers. They're now 23-50. And so next up, next game here, it is the Toronto Raptors here and the Brooklyn Nets. And these are two teams that are going to be focusing on the SWBA draft as well. And let me start with the Raptors here. And so I do like the mix of young players that they do have. I really do. And I think that when you look at a guy like Emmanuel Quickly, who didn't play in this game, he was out due to rest, but I think that when you look at what he can bring to the backcourt along with RJ Barrett, I do think that the Raptors do have something there. Scotty Barnes is a player that's already shown us what he can do in this league. I think it's just a matter of, can he now really lead a team and start to play some winning basketball with the Raptors here. And so he had 15, 7 rebounds and 5 assists in this one. He was plus 23. And so you know what you're getting with Scotty Barnes. RJ Barrett, I think he's becoming a bit more consistent, especially since moving on from the New York Knicks. I think that this is something that the Raptors are going to want to see moving forward with him. And so they win in this game 116-1 or to 86. And I think with the Brooklyn Nets here, look, they have got to really figure out, I think, where they want to go with just the direction here, because Cam Thomas, he was out with a strained left hamstring, and, you know, he was in a lot of trade talks, so to speak. And so, you know, I wonder what the Brooklyn Nets are going to want to do with him in the offseason. I think that there has to be a lot of teams out there that would love to trade for him. But this was all about the Raptors here as they win. They're 26-47 on the season, and you have the Brooklyn Nets 23-50. Again, these are two teams that are going to have to focus with this upcoming SWBA draft. And so next up, we have maybe the game of the night, and that is the Los Angeles Lakers versus the Indiana Pacers. And so this came down to the last second, and we've been talking a bit about the Pacers and just how clutch they have been, really. And look, they almost had this game. Luka was driving down the lane, puts up a shot and misses it. And then you have a tip from LeBron James to win this game. And so this was interesting, man, because you had the Pacers. They had, you know, really a tough first half. They were able to fight their way back into this game. And then, you know, with just the way that they have been playing, Tyrese Halliburton, I think he's been playing at a high level as well. He got another double-double in this one. And so it just looked like that this was going to shift, you know, for the Pacers in this game to really get it going. Because, like I said, they were down, you know, because the Lakers put in a really great second quarter. In fact, they scored 40 points in the second quarter. And so for the Pacers to get back into it, I like the fight that we're seeing from the Pacers, and I think that that's something that certainly will translate as the SWBA playoffs come around. And I love what they've been getting to from just the role players. But yeah, another good one from Tyrese Halliburton with the double-double, the 16 points and the 18 assists, but come up short. LeBron James in this one. Look, he had 13 points. He had 13 rebounds and 7 assists. You had Luka, who had 34, 7 assists and 7 rebounds. And so the Lakers, man, they desperately needed to get this one. They've had some tough losses here as of late, but they got a good one here. So next up, we got the Los Angeles Clippers versus the New York Knicks. And so they were on the road and they take care of business, winning 126-113. And man, I've been really impressed with just the way that James Harden has played, along with Kawhi Leonard. I think that anytime you're talking about Kawhi Leonard and him being healthy, like that certainly changes any basketball team. And, I can tell you just in looking at a lot of Clippers games, like this is a totally different team when Kawhi's out there. And so he had a good one in this one. He had 27 points. He had 10 rebounds. He had 7 assists. And I just think it's all about him staying healthy. And the key here out of this major story is he played 41 minutes. Okay. And so that is a great sign when you have Kawhi Leonard playing that amount of minutes this late in the year. You're hoping that he could stay healthy. And I think he has plenty left in the tank to really get you pretty far. And then with Harden going back to that point, look, he had 29 points in this one, 6 assists, but he was 6 of 9 from downtown, 7 of 8 from the free throw line. And if you looked at this game, James Harden looked a lot like he did with the Houston Rockets. Like I just thought that his feel for the game out there, he's starting to look a lot like he did, 5, 6, 7 seasons ago. So he's been super comfortable. Zubac has been playing at an extremely high level as well. And then Norman Powell, look, he's, I think, one of my favorite players to watch. I got a chance to watch him live when he was at UCLA. And so I just love what Norman Powell really presents for the Clippers. And so since he's come back, he had 19 in this one, 2 assists. I mean, he literally is just a bucket getter here. And so it was about the Clippers' ability to knock down 3-point shots. And so with the Knicks, look, this is another tough loss. I know that this is a quality team with the Los Angeles Clippers. And when you look at the Knicks, they're 45-27. And I just think that when you make a trade for Mikal Bridges, you have gone out, you've re-signed OG Anunoby, and then you have Karl Anthony Towns as well. Like you have got to be thinking this is a championship season for the Knicks. And I just think that, man, I hope that they have not worn down just with the way that they play with their effort levels and just how Coach Tibbs is as well. They do have Mitchell Robinson back, but man, the Knicks, man, I think that they've just had some bad losses. I'm not going to say that this is a bad loss by any stretch of the imagination, but man, I don't like how they are trending as the playoffs near here. And so next up, we have the Nuggets and we have the Milwaukee Bucks. And so, look, this was all about Jokic coming back. And Jokic comes back in this one, Nikola Jokic. And, man, he just had quite a day. He had 39 points. He had 10 assists. He had 10 rebounds in this one, and he was plus 14, along with Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon had sat out as well. And so, really, you had the full starting cast here for the Denver Nuggets out there in this one. And I think that, this is why some people are torn for who's going to be the SWBA MVP. When you see a performance like this from Nikola Jokic and you see how the Denver Nuggets respond, he clearly just shows you what an impact player he is. And so the Nuggets are certainly going to need him. I don't like the bench that they have. I think that is probably going to be the weakness for them. But 46-28, they win this game. That's their overall record. And then you look at the Bucks here. They lose in this one. But I think that really what is going to be interesting, I think, about the Milwaukee Bucks here is just going to be what are they going to do now that they don't have Dame? And it looks like the Dame is going to be out for an extended amount of time. Dame Lillard, I mean, maybe season is over there, but if you have not seen that, it looks like that he has the same thing that maybe that was going on with Wemby that really ended his season, but in the calf. And so that is something that is, extremely unfortunate for the Milwaukee Bucks. And so, look, this is a team they're right there. I still don't like where they are defensively. I think that they're a lot better now that they have Doc Rivers over here this year, right? I didn't like how he took over last year. I didn't like the energy of that, but I think the energy is a little bit better. Dame has been here with Giannis. I think that there's some more continuity, but I don't like the fact that they have have given up so much to get Dame, and I'm not sure that they've really ever recovered. But again, anything can happen here as we get ready to trend towards the SWBA playoffs. And so last game of the night, you got the Boston Celtics and the Phoenix Suns. And so this was all about the Boston Celtics and their ability to just really take it to the Phoenix Suns. And so I love the fact that they came out and they just were going for it early. And I think you have to give Jaylen Brown a lot of credit. He had been out with Jason Tatum due to a knee injury. He looked very good in this game. He had 24 points. He had 5 assists in this one. He had a steal. He was plus 24. And in fact, when you look at the starting 5, for the Boston Celtics, everybody was in a plus. You had Horford plus 24, Porzingis plus 27, Drew Holiday, he had plus 28, Derek White plus 34. I mean, look, there was a lot of pluses here in the plus minus efficiency. And so that is something that is a key takeaway here. Kevin Durant, look, he scored 30, but I think considering what he has been doing, I think it was a quiet 30 because he just had the 30, but he only had 2 assists and he had a rebound. And so you have got to give the Celtics a lot of credit there. And Devin Booker, only 14 points. He did have 10 assists, but man, he was negative 33 in a plus minus box score. But still, the Phoenix Suns are right there. They're trending in the right direction, even though it snaps their winning streak. And like I said before with the Boston Celtics, it's all about them getting healthy. And maybe this is something that's going to work out into their favor because, with Jason Tatum being out due to the ankle and everything else, and then if they decide to rest some players, I think that this is where maybe you see some of these other players like Sam Hauser and all these other players that are probably going to have to play a major role for the Celtics are going to have to step up here. And so anyway, let me know in the comments here what you're thinking here about last night's action. We'll be talking a little bit more about the SWBA, looking at the scoreboard and everything here on the next show. And make sure that you like and you subscribe. And as we always say around here, see the game, be the game. We'll see you in the next one. All right. Peace.